Welcome to ThaiPBS English News Service. Tonight you're with me, Rungtip Chodapalai. Yesterday, resolutions by the Deep South Teachers Association calls for the closure of all schools in the restricted region for 2 days as violence against teachers continues. However, some schools have remained open as they fear students will fall behind on the syllabus. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister was in the Deep South today and met with teachers. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra was in the southern province of Pattani today and met with senior police and soldiers in the region regarding the continued violence against teachers. One of the long-term measures discussed includes the setting up of a teacher security center to oversee the 3 southern provinces of Narathiwat, Pattani, Yala and 4 districts of Songkhla province. The Prime Minister also met with representatives of the Deep South Teachers Association as well as administrators of the Women's Development Fund in the Far South. The Prime Minister hopes that listening firsthand to their problems will increase the confidence of teachers in the region. However, Deputy Prime Minister Chalerm Yubamlung, who was assigned to oversee the Deep South, did not accompany the Prime Minister on her visit. His agenda today was to hold meetings and issue orders to resolve the unrest from Government House. Even though the Deep South Teachers Association ordered schools to close for 2 days due to the continuous unrest, a number of schools did remain open as teachers and parents fear students will not be able to catch up on the curriculum. Schools which remains open today were subject to tough security screening on campus and in the surrounding areas. The Democrat Party's legal team has prepared the legal documentation for Abhisit Vechachiwa and Suthep Thilsuban, who both reported to the DSI earlier today. Iron barricades and some 600 police officers were deployed in order to make sure everything was kept in order.
Some 600 police officers were deployed to maintain order as Abhisit Vechachiwa and Suthep Thilsuban reported to DSI this afternoon. Also, iron barricades were erected in front of the DSI. Tharit Phengdit, the DSI Director General, ensured safety as the UDD intended to gather at the DSI to oppose bail for the 2 men, and Democrat supporters will show their support for Abhisit Vechachiwa, a former Prime Minister, and Suthep Thilsuban, a former Director of the Center for the Resolution of the Emergency Situation. The charges to be laid against them are related to the deaths during the 2010 street protests. Both Abhisit and Suthep have denied all the charges and will fight the charges in court because the charges against them are unclear and dubious. Tharit Phengdit, the DSI Director General, will give further details on the case tomorrow at 11 a.m.
The Songkhla Provincial Administrative Organization will continue the construction of a cable car across Songkhla Lake despite opposition from local people. Those against the project will gather this Sunday in an attempt to protect the last pine forest and to demand a public hearing. Representatives of local people and the Songkhla Provincial Administrator have filed a request with Uthit Chu Choi, Chairman of the Songkhla Provincial Administrative Organization, to pause the construction of a cable car across Songkhla Lake around the Lamson On area. The project was found to not follow proper procedure because the report into the environmental impact is yet being completed. Meanwhile, Uthit Chu Choi, the Chairman of the Songkhla Provincial Administrative Organization, insists that this project follows the rules and the 20 million baht invested in the scheme will support tourism in the province. However, Nawapol Bunyamani, a former chairman of Songkhla Provincial Administrative Organization, claims that he had previously suspended the project and it was not worth the investment. Songkhla administrators and the Provincial Administrative Organization, which owns the cable car construction project, held a discussion with the agency involved and the Miracle of Life Foundation over the use of the last pine forest in the city. Thailand is about to join the list of countries who have or are migrating from analog to digital broadcasting of radio and TV signals. Earlier, I spoke with Colonel Nathi Sukonrat, Chairman of the National Broadcasting Commission, who pointed out that the television industry in Thailand is facing a transitional period as we migrate to digital television. However, more than 90% of the regulatory framework has already been prepared for licensing.
We left only one part about auction rule that we plan to finish by March of next year.
So March next year, the licensing and the pricing as well, but the ITU and also the economic faculties, at Chulalongkorn University have they do the study, right? So you think that this will be a fair competition? It will not be the same as like the 3G the auction that we have a lot of problems.
I think TV auction is quite different from telecom spectrum auction, because TV auction we have to think about social effect and culture and some other issue, not only the money that we get out of the auction. So in many countries we have no auction for television, but in Thailand the law already require that we have to allocate frequency to broadcaster by means of auction for commercial television. So we have to do that, but we have to be very careful. And I have to tell you that for telecom spectrum, especially 3G, we have only 3 licenses. Right. For 3 operator, but in broadcast for digital television, we may have up to 24 TV channel for a lot of broadcaster can join and can participate in the event, and I think it's going to be fair and free competition.
And then how do you foresee the change within the broadcasting industry in Thailand and after the digital TV happens in Thailand?
It's like revolution. It is not you can say that when we change from black and white to color television, that's only minimum change, because black and white and color television only quality, but right now we change from analog mean of transmission to digital mean of transmission. We will have changed both quality and quantity. From 5 or 6 program in analog television, we will have up to 40 or 50 television program on digital terrestrial, and in that 40 or 50 program, we will have some of them in high definition.
The Education Ministry, together with 5 government banks, is to launch a loan scheme for vocational students and university students to set up their own businesses. Prime Minister Eng.News launched a new student loan scheme for vocational university students and the newly graduated. The government, together with the Office of the Higher Education Commission, Thai Credit Guarantee Corporation, and the 5 government banks, namely Kung Thai Bank, the Government Savings Bank, the Islamic Bank, the Bank for Agriculture and Agricultural Cooperatives, and the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Bank of Thailand, are to launch a loan scheme for students who would like to set up their own business. 5 billion baht for the loan scheme is to come from the annual government budget, and the government's bank will contribute a further 10 billion baht. Eng.News, the Prime Minister, said that the scheme is an opportunity for students who have the ambition to be an SME business owners but lack funding to get started. Oran ThaiPBS, the chairman of the government's loan scheme, said that those who are interested can borrow a maximum of 3 million baht each. The period of loan repayments is 7 to 10 years. Their business should be one of the 10 fields, such as information technology or agriculture. The government expects that there will be about 5,000 to 10,000 students joining the scheme. Those who are interested can contact the 56 university business incubators nationwide or the Office of the Higher Education Commission for more information. Yesterday, the UN Security Council condemned North Korea's missile launch and will continue discussions on how to respond to Pyongyang's violation of a UN ban on North Korean ballistic missile development. Here's more from Hugh Adam.
Moroccan UN Ambassador Mohamed Lulichki, President of the Security Council, said that the members of the Security Council condemned this launch which is a clear violation of Security Council Resolutions 1718 and 1874, and that members of the Security Council will continue consultations on an appropriate response. Lulichki recalled the Council's April 2012 warning to Pyongyang that the Council would act in the event of any further rocket launches. UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon also strongly condemned the launch as a, quote, provocative act in breach of Security Council resolutions banning Pyongyang from developing ballistic missiles and nuclear technology. Kim Suk, South Korea's ambassador to the UN, observed the Security Council decision and told journalists that his government strongly condemns the rocket launch and that the launch constituted a serious challenge and blatant violation of the Security Council resolutions, and this constitutes a very dangerous challenge to the security of the Republic of Korea and the security situation in the Korean Peninsula and in Northeast Asia, and to the peace and stability of the whole international society. Susan Rice, the US ambassador to the United Nations, expressed deep concerns about this latest development in the already tense region.
This launch also shows that despite the Security Council's clear requirements, North Korea is determined to pursue its ballistic missile program without regard for its international obligations. Therefore, members of the Council must now work in a concerted fashion to send North Korea a clear message that its violations of UN Security Council resolutions have consequences. In the days ahead, the United States will work with partners on the Security Council, as well as our partners in the six-party talks and other countries in the international community, to pursue appropriate action.
North Korea successfully launched a rocket yesterday, boosting the credentials of its youthful new leader Kim Jong-un, who took power a year ago, and stepping up the threat the isolated and impoverished state poses to its opponents. The rocket, which North Korea says put a weather satellite into orbit, has been labeled by the United States, South Korea and Japan as a test of technology that could one day deliver a nuclear warhead capable of hitting targets as far away as the continental United States. Hugh Adams, Thai PBS.
Thank you, Kun Hugh. And that wraps up two editions of Thai PBS English News Service. Thank you for joining us. I'm Lung Thip Chonapalai. Have a good night. สวัสดีค่ะ